Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the West Lindsey series. This is one of the 9 districts of Lincolnshire and one of the county's most rural. It has 128 civil parishes. Let's see which one this episode's all about. Welcome back to West Lindsey again, people. Now, the previous episodes you've seen in this series were all filmed after this one. I had to start here this morning because I've got a special piece of footage which I need to record in this episode, and it means I've got to get through this village quite quickly. I need to be there before 9:30. It's currently 25 to 9, so I haven't got long to walk around this place. Luckily, it's not the biggest village in the world. It's a dead straight linear village with a few bits and bobs coming off either side, and at the end of this road there's a house which I definitely do need to catch, because you'll know the person who lives in it. Welcome to Grayingham. The West Lindsey series is sponsored by Gainsborough Cycles, 01427 617 752. For all your cycling needs, this is your one-stop shop, located at 20 Ropery Road or online at gainsboroughcycles.com. There's a link in the description. Gainsborough Cycles, ask for Trevor Halstead. And this video is also sponsored by Jamie's Fitness Studio, based on Low Road, Grayingham, near Kirton in Lindsey. Jamie is one busy lady. Check her out by calling 07906 749 574 or emailing hello@jamies.co.uk. Online membership is available. There's a link to her Facebook page in the description. Jamie's Fitness Studio. Get fit, get happy, get healthy. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like, and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Welcome to Graingeham, which is situated close to the West Lindsey-North Lincolnshire border, around 1 mile south of Kirton in Lindsey. The name Grayingham derives from Old English, and it means homestead of the family of a man named Graeg. The Domesday Book lists it as Graingeham. Grayingham is tiny and generally residential. The road through it runs from Blyborough to the B1205, the road which passes to the south of Kirton before meeting the A15. Graingham's boundaries cover about 1,730 acres, and it's classed as being on the Lincoln Cliff, despite being generally flat. A tributary of the River Eau rises from this parish too. A large portion of this parish was once a rabbit warren for hunting. It's had some interesting owners in the past as well, including a family from elsewhere in Lincolnshire. Its standout features include the Church of St Radegund, which has a very wide tower, and the 17th century manor house, which is just over the road from it. It doesn't have much to talk about other than those, if I'm honest, but I was lucky enough to be allowed access to something really unique which lies to the east of the village. You'll see what that was in a while, but first, let's go for another walk. We begin our short walk through Grayingham on Low Road, the main road through the village which runs all the way to Blyborough. There are some side streets including Church Lane, which we'll explore on our way back. Off Low Road is School Lane, which is a little deceiving because Grayingham has no school these days, but it used to have at least 2. Its first school was erected in the village in 1838 by the Lord of the Manor. Here on Low Road, opposite School Lane, is another one. This is the old schoolhouse, which was built in 1857. Its owners jokingly refer to part of this as the West Wing, which is now guest accommodation with 4 bedrooms. Opposite that, we've got a parish notice board and the old red phone box. This one's got the village's defib machine, because even a place this small needs one of those. Aside from that and the church, Graingham has no other amenities. It's fun in the autumn doing this when parish notice boards do this kind of thing. With condensation down it, cards don't stick very well, but thankfully that one is okay in the corner. The rest of the village is pretty much residential. It's a mix of property styles all the way down the road. Some are big, others small, and of varying ages. This gives me a chance to tell you about Graingham's landowners. Graingham has links to South Kirton. Throughout the 1800s and early 1900s, Graingham's principal landowners were the Thorold family. One of them was Sir John Henry Thorold, who was the Baronet of Syston. He was a British Conservative Party politician and was elected at the 1865 general election as a Member of Parliament for the borough of Grantham. In 1876, he was appointed High Sheriff of Lincolnshire. Now we come to the end of the village, almost, and this is the house which I was aiming for. Most of you won't know who lives here personally, but if you're a regular viewer, you will definitely know her name. Okay, so you may have already guessed who lives in this house, because obviously I've got sponsorship on this video, as I have for the rest of the West Lindsey series. This is where you'll find Jamie's Fitness Studio, one of the sponsors of the West Lindsey series. So there you go, guys. You've seen the advert, and now you've seen the place to come for it. If you want to check her out, this is the place to come. Right at the end of Low Road in Grayingham. Not far from the border with Blyborough, actually, because that's just down there. And yeah, very small village. You can park one end, walk to the other end, and get a few steps in if you're on a Fitbit or something like that. So it's only taken me about 10 minutes to walk from where I parked to here, down to Jamie's. There you go. I don't think they're in, by the way, because there's no car there, so we won't be meeting Jamie today. Okay, time to walk back. On the way back, we'll catch the church and Graingham Manor. Graingham's Grade 2 listed Anglican church is dedicated to St Radegund. Originating from the 13th and 14th centuries, it was rebuilt in the late 1700s, leaving the early English tower and west doorway intact. A further restoration was carried out in 1870 by James Fowler of Louth. It was also re-roofed in 1906. In 1881, a memorial window to the Peel family was inserted into its south wall. Inside the church is a small marble war memorial tablet. The English ecologist Edward Woodruff Peacock, who was always known by his middle name, Adrian, was rector of Graingham. He was born at Bottisford Manor near Scunthorpe in 1858 and died in this post in 1922. And by the way, this is only the second time we've seen a church with a dedication to St Radegund. Last time was in Newark in the parish of Maplebeck. St Radegund is the patron saint of churches in England and France. There's a gate at the end of the churchyard here, which runs out onto a footpath over this little bridge and leads back onto the road, but obviously that's heading in the wrong direction. I need to be heading back this way, so we'll walk back past the church and head towards Graingham Manor now, which is sort of on this corner. The church is one of 3 listed buildings in Graingham. The other 2 are the old rectory, which is out to the east, and the manor house. The manor house itself sits on Low Road, but these buildings are related to it. These are the coach house and the granary, which have been much altered since they were originally built. The manor house itself is mid-17th century in date, although its south wing is dated 1726. It underwent some restoration in the mid-19th century too. It has 2 unusual windows which rise from the ground, each with pilasters and a pediment. Here's the property in question as we make our way out of the village. At the end of the road, Low Road hits the B1205 and you get this truly amazing view across to Kirton. You're surrounded on all sides by fabulous Lincolnshire countryside. Tell me this, folks, why have I never been to Grayingham before? And of course this is the border with North Lincolnshire, because if you can see Kirton and Lindsey from here, you know that North Lincolnshire is not far away. It's a beautiful view of Kirton over there. I can see the church sticking up in the distance over there. It's fabulous. Great view this morning. Absolutely amazing. And of course we saw some fabulous views of Kirton, didn't we, in the 5,000 subscriber special. If you've not watched that video, I will link it in the description. Okay, just going to head back to the car across this road. It's not the busiest road in the world, but there are still vehicles, large ones, which use it, so obviously got to be careful. And I'm about to drive up this road now, this way, sort of towards Kirton and towards the A15, because there's something special that I need to catch out there, which we did see, by the way, from the glider in the 5,000 subscriber special. Welcome to Uncle Henry's, which is primarily a farm shop, butchery and a cafe, but it's so much more than that. Owned by the Ward family, this is located at Grayingham Grange. Uncle Henry's has an interesting backstory which started with a family friend of the owners, a man by the name of Henry Wright. The Wright family have farmed land in Grayingham for over 100 years, and Henry used to live in the house behind the farm shop and cafe. Even though the Wards and the Wrights were unrelated, the Wards' children always used to ask, "Can we visit Uncle Henry's?" when they wanted to play at Henry's house. The name stuck. The Wards would convert the derelict 19th century limestone buildings next to Henry's house into the shop, butchery and cafe in September 2006. Since then, conference facilities have been added and the business has developed to become an educational resource for local schools. So the reason I'm having to do this really early in the morning is they requested that I come at this time so as not to get any of their customers in any of my shots, and thankfully, because I haven't seen anybody yet, I haven't caught anybody at all, which is a good thing. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't catch anybody at all. By far the most interesting part of Uncle Henry's is behind the garden wall. This is the perfect place to entertain your little ones with something for everyone. This costs £6 per person to enter, or £20 for a group of 4. Under 2s are free. This is a garden primarily, and it's got picnic tables. In the summer, it's very popular. The cafe sells picnic packs, so you don't even need to bring your own food. It also has its own catering van, which sells snacks and both hot and cold drinks. If you fancy some family-friendly competition, well, you can have a go at the mini golf course. There are 9 crazy holes to try here. With this being filmed so close to Halloween, all of these had been decorated. This is certainly not for the adults. Something else the kids will love is this jumping pillow. There's also tractor and trailer rides available in the summer holidays, and a small wood here too, where you can attempt a fairy trail. Okay, finally found somebody, and they've pointed me in the direction of a few sort of landmarks within the complex, as it were. One of them is a maze. A maze. Let's see if this is amazing. See what I did there. All right, we've found our way to the maze. There's the maze. A maze of maze. Apparently there's a pumpkin patch in here as well, so let's have a quick look at the rules before we have a look at it. Please stay on the paths. My maze plants are fragile and easily damaged. All children under 16 must be accompanied by an adult. The maze cobs are non-edible, cannot be consumed by humans. Please do not pick them. I'm not going to read all of these, but they're pretty much common sense, to be fair, most of that. So let's go in. Let's have a look at the maze then. See if I can find my way through it. I've already seen the pumpkin patch. It's over here. Here it is. Of course, with it being close to Halloween, when this one's being filmed, of course, the pumpkins, and these look fantastic, don't they? Look at these. Amazing. Wonder how many of those are going to end up on people's porches, carved with scary faces for Halloween. Fantastic. Right, let's have a wander through the maze then. I wonder if you can view it from that platform. I might go up there in a moment and see. Definitely countrified, this, isn't it? You don't find this in a town. So we've got some bales of hay as well. There we go. It's quite extensive, actually. Obviously, I seem to be walking just through the middle of it at the moment. Let's see if I can get round. It seems to go forever. I can't see the end of it over there. I'd imagine this is really good fun for the kids. So if you fancy coming out here and doing something with the kids, like on half term or something like that, this is probably one of the places to go to. Let's go down here. I don't want to get lost, obviously, but I use the little platform as a marker. There's even a sign here that says, "Looks familiar, you might be lost." Some other little information boards here as well. That one's to do with the coronation for some reason. Not quite sure what that's got to do with the maze, but okay. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Let's keep going. What have we got here? Oh, more Halloween themed stuff. It's a bat with a pumpkin sort of basket thing. That's pretty cool. Some of the ghosty ghoulie here. Boo! Well, boo to you too, sir. Boo to you too. So the deeper you get into this, the more sort of disoriented you feel. Okay, I think we'll stop here and we'll head back before I lose sight of that platform. What I'll do is I'll climb up onto that and have a look and see how extensive this maze is from up there. See if it's all visible or mostly visible. But yeah, this is certainly a cool little part of Uncle Henry's. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure the kids will love it. The lady I was talking to, who pointed me in the direction of this, told me that there's obviously the farm shop still to look at, and with it being so early in the morning, it's not actually open yet. It opens at 9:30. It's still before 9:30 yet, but they're going to have a little chat, and if they're happy for me to go in there a little early, then I can film the inside of the farm shop, which is not something that we normally do, because generally speaking farm shops are private and off limits as far as camera work goes. Let's get up onto this platform then. Let's see from the top, what have we got? Wow, there you go. You can see how big it is. Blimey. I'm glad I didn't go too far. Quite frankly, that is quite a big maze, that. I can see how you might easily get lost. Okay, so there's some customers around now, so I've got to be careful where I put the camera. The farm shop is not quite open yet, but we can have a look at it from the outside. There we go. Okay, so the shop is now open, so let's have a quick look around, see what they've got on offer. Always like a farm shop. It's not often we see on the inside of these, as I said earlier, because normally people don't allow us to have a look inside. Just got to be careful where I put this camera, because there are people around. Don't want to catch anybody I shouldn't. All sorts in here, frozen and fresh. Look at this lot. Certainly get your money's worth if you come to this place. And again, it's all Halloween themed in here too. It's the right time of year to come if you like Halloween. Absolutely. Let's have a quick look at the deli counter, see what they've got here. Check those out. prices actually. 150, 175, 175. £5 each for a homemade pound puck pie, or 2 for £8. Bargain. Lincolnshire sausage rolls, £1.20, buy 3 for 3. Selection of cheeses too. Oh, and some jams and preserves down here too, look. We like seeing those, don't we? Okay, got some just there, so I'll turn around this way. And they also have toilets in here as well. I shall make sure I use those before I leave. There's some more jams here, look, more preserves. Produced in Lincolnshire. Oh, and they even sell Blighton ice cream, by the way. Not just exclusive to Blighton. We've got some wines, mead is here, look, got some mead. Wow, all sorts in this place. That's a really good shop. I'm glad they allowed me to film inside here, because this is the kind of thing we've seen before in farm shops, but we haven't been able to show you because, you know, we've not been allowed in to do it. So, you know, I'm glad I've been able to get in this one. There's a cafe here, which is over there, and toilets are down here. So we will use those before we leave. And that's really it. That's really it. That's Uncle Henry's. What a fabulous place this is. Oh look, they've even got Christmas themed stuff. It may be Halloween time, but they've even got Christmas themed stuff in. So there's a bit for everybody here. It's fabulous. Great little place. Okay, I'm going to use the lav and then we'll go back outside to wrap this one up. And that's it. That's the end of the Grayingham episode. A bit of a special episode, because obviously the village didn't have a lot to talk about, but there's plenty here at Uncle Henry's. So if you fancy coming out here with the kids, I definitely recommend it. This has been the parish of Graingham, and I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.